Brandon Hamer coming to you from Owner's Acres here in Central City. We're in our soybean field, and just a few days ago I was out in this field prior to the 4th of July. Very hard to find any insect activity, a few stink bugs, and now we're here just 5 days later, and we're seeing pretty heavy Japanese beetle feeding. You can see we've already got trifolia. It's pretty well skeletonized. Heavy pressure. So that's our first concern out here. Japanese beetles typically are defoliators, but when we start losing a lot of our canopy, we start seeing some of the high pressures. That's when we consider treatment. But just 10 steps into this field, we also came across grasshoppers that are doing some feeding. You'll see them on perimeters of fields. I mentioned stink bugs. Stink bugs can cause a lot of damage. As you can see, we're already starting to form pods. They love to go pierce pods and inject a toxin that basically kills that pod off. So we get concerned when we see high stink bug populations. In about 2-3 steps we found 3-4 stink bugs. In addition, we're seeing some bean leaf beetles out here, and finally I just came across a couple stem borers. So all that to say, when you're making a trip across the soybean field this time of the year, hopefully that's with a fungicide application here as we enter this R2, R3 stage. We see huge benefits to insecticide. There's just so many things out here we can clean up. Sometimes we don't have one insect at threshold level, but you combine 2 or 3 that are at light to moderate pressure, and we see that payback every time. So, you know, I love to say our soybean field here is the exception, that we're the only one with insect pressure, but we know that's usually not the case. When we see the Japanese beetles move in, they hit everybody, especially if you've had issues before. So if you're making those trips across the field, make sure you get an insecticide in there. That'll be some of the best money you spend just to clean up some of these insects. Again, you look at all the flowers and all the pod activity we have. We don't want any feeding to go on down there. Also, you know, every trifoliate here feeds a node, and that node is being fed by those leaves. So we start defoliating or desiccating the top of the plant, that trifoliate's leading to a node, and that reduces our yield potential as they take those trifoliates out. So just a couple tips on soybean insects. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to come look at your fields and give you some recommendations on what we're seeing.